In this video, I am going to be talking to you about how to effectively set and achieve goals for 2021. So goals are really important for our creative businesses because they give us direction, focus, and purpose. If we don't know where we want to go, it's very difficult to get there. And often some of the clients, the creative clients I work with that I coach, are kind of floundering around and quite stagnant in their businesses because they don't really know what they want to achieve because they haven't sat and taken the time to do that. So the purpose of this video is to give you a little bit of food for thought so you can actually take the time to start to think about what it is you'd like to achieve in your business and how you can go about putting a plan in place to bring those achievements to life. So I would like you to take out a journal or a notebook and a pen and just have a little bit of a think and a brainstorm about where you would like to be this time next year, what you would like to have achieved, how much money you'd like to have earned. Are there any particular clients you would have liked to have worked with? Do you want to have seen your work published somewhere? Really start to think about what it is you want and what would kind of make you feel successful, make you feel fulfilled, and make you feel happy in your life and business. So you can take a little bit of time once you've watched the video to think about that, because those desires will really form the basis for the goals you set for the next year. So goals need to be a few things for them to actually be goals, not just New Year's resolutions or wishes or hopes. So goals need to be quite specific, they need to be measurable and quite motivating, they need to be attainable, they need to be relevant to the rest of your life and your family, and they need to be time-based. So I'll talk you through a little bit in a little bit more detail about those points and how you can make them relevant to your business. So a goal needs to be specific. I often hear people say, I just want to make some more money, or I'd just like to have a few more clients coming in. That's fantastic, but if we don't know how much money we're aiming for or how many clients we're aiming for, how do we know when we've reached that goal, and how do we measure that? We can't. So the first thing is a goal needs to be specific. So if you're aiming for more money, how much more money? Name the amount of money that you're aiming for. If you're wanting more clients, how many more clients? Put a number down so we have got something clear and concrete to be working towards. Your goals need to be measurable and motivating. So obviously, if we're naming an amount of money or a certain amount of clients, we can measure that goal. Maybe your goal is something as simple to meditate every day. We know we've meditated every day when we've done it, so it's measurable. And they also need to be motivating. A lot of goals do tend to be quite financially based, especially in business. And often we kind of look at it and go, oh, I want to earn another £2,000 a month. That's fantastic, but what's that money for? So another thing to really consider is what you're going to be using that money for. So it might be that you want to buy yourself a new camera, and I think that's a really cool goal to have for that money that you're wanting to bring in, because again, it's measurable. When we know when we've got the new camera that we've hit that goal. We've also got a really shiny new camera, which is even more exciting. So who doesn't love unboxing a brand new camera? So again, we've got measurable and we've got motivating with both of those. Goals need to be attainable. Now, goals should always stretch you out of your comfort zone. It's pointless aiming for something that isn't really that difficult for you. But they shouldn't be so big that they're absolutely impossible to reach. So if you're currently earning £10,000 a year in your photography business, because it's a bit of a part-time gig, suggesting that by the end of 2021 your business will have generated £1 million, it's always possible, let's not rule it out, but it's unlikely. And all you're doing really is setting yourself up to fail. So if you're currently doing £10,000 a year in your photography business, maybe you could double it and make it 20. That's a stretch, but it's not such a stretch that it's completely impossible. Your goals need to be relevant to what's happening in the rest of your life. So if you are already working full-time and perhaps you're studying photography as well, suggesting that you want to book in 25 clients a month isn't really very realistic. and it's probably not going to happen purely because you don't have the time to do it. So we need to make sure the goals that we're wanting to work towards actually kind of are relevant and gel with the rest of our lives. By contrast, another thing, if you want to become a war correspondent on a different continent, but you've just got married and you've got 2 small children, unless you particularly don't like your wife and children, or your husband and your children, that's not a great goal, because it's going to completely split your family apart. It's not going to be something that fits in well with a harmonious life. So it depends what you want, of course. And your goals need to be time-based. So we need to make sure we put a time limit on the goal, so we have a period of time in which to work towards that goal. If you don't give a goal a deadline, we're never going to achieve it, because you're constantly going to procrastinate and kind of put it off, because we're not really that motivated for it. So time constraints are really important for a goal, especially if it's a goal to bring in a certain amount of money over a certain period of time. That deadline and that time constraint will really keep you motivated to keep taking action until you can bring that goal to life. And I think that's where the accountability of the work I do for my own clients comes in, because as a coach, I work one-on-one with clients, and part of my job is to help people put strategies in place to reach their goals, but also to hold them accountable to taking the right action to bring those goals to life. So I'm going to talk through a little bit of an example of what a goal might look like and what the steps might look like to actually make that goal happen, so you can then start to apply this to the goals that you set for your life and your business. So let's say, for example, you would like your photography business to bring in £24,000 in 2021. Now, on its own, that's quite a big chunk of money, but if we break it down and we work backwards, because that's the best way to kind of make sure we get a goal, bring it to fruition, is to start with the goal and then break it down into the smaller steps we need to take to make the goal happen. So if we break that down, that's £2,000 a month that you need to bring in with your photography business. All of a sudden, very, very doable. So you're going to then have a look at what does that look like in terms of clients to bring that amount of money in. So depending on what you shoot, what you do, where you're at in your career, how much time you have, it could look like many things. It could look like 10 shoots at £200. It could look like 5 shoots at £400. It could look like 1 shoot at £2,000. If you're a wedding photographer, for instance, or if you're already shooting high-end portraits. So you can have a look and say, okay, pick which option works for you, and then start to have a look at what action steps do you need to take in order to bring those clients in. So if we work on the example of getting 5 shoots at £400 a month in, your first step is going to be to define who the clients are that you're going to be working with. So you need to work out exactly who your ideal client is. And then you're going to put a marketing strategy in place to bring more of those clients in. Where do you need to be sharing your work to get it in front of the people that are going to book you for those shoots? How much time do you need to be spending on your marketing? Do you need to make sure you're writing a blog post every week? Do you need to be doing a social media post every day? Perhaps you need to be reaching out every day to a couple of prospective clients. Perhaps you need to collaborate. Perhaps you need to take the time to actually make some new work in order to bring more of those clients in. So you just need to have a brainstorm of what needs to happen to get those clients in so you can hit that financial goal of £2,000 a month. And as soon as you break your goals down into these little steps, then you know exactly what you need to do each day, because we just need to build on it's kind of baby steps building on one thing, and it's consistent and persistent and regular action that will bring your goals to life. And the one thing I'll say here is that it's not always easy to achieve goals, which is often why people simply don't, because there tends to be a little bit of a lag between the action steps we take and the work we do and the results we see. So my advice to you would be that when you get to the point with goals, or if you already have done and you've tried to set goals before and you've not achieved them, is often we get to the point where we've done a load of work and nothing's happened and we give up because we're like, oh, see, it doesn't work. And if you can just push past that and just keep going even when it feels like it's not working, you may well find that you'll start to see results from the action you're taking. Making goals happen, especially if they're slightly bigger goals than you're used to, or they're a bit of a stretch, it takes persistence, and it takes effort, and it takes consistent action. So those are the things you have got to be doing in order to make your goals happen for 2021. So if you would like to talk to me further about how I can help you with setting your goals, putting strategies in place and actually making your goals happen, please do feel free to book in a free strategy call with me. There is a link in the video description to do that, and I would be very happy to talk to you more about how I can help you with some one-on-one work to get your business going to where you want it to, and so you have a really, really great 2021. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do subscribe to the channel and give me a like, and I will see you again soon.